I tried to give you guys a good save there. I couldn't pedal it.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought that, I think that what is it, Justin White in race control, but Bo, I think he does a phenomenal job trying to control you guys. Like, not trying to control you, but he doesn't let it get out of hand.
No, 100%. I mean, he's fair. I mean, I apologize as a 23. I think that's how I got to in the tunnel turn, and somebody hit the wall. We all checked up. I mean, it's been going on. There's just been, not much give and take, but it's this package. It's this setup, and we're at the end of the race, too. And you got multiple tire strategies, so you got a lot going on.
Yeah, by the way, we're back with you. We got knocked off the line for the finish of this race, and it is showing the Blanchard's Towing Xfinity Sonoma race, but this is actually the conclusion of tonight's race at Pocono. I don't know what happens, Sus. Sometimes Dean's Elon Musk Starlink satellite goes in cattywampus mode. What can I say? 1 minute it works, and then the next minute they have to stop and refuel. So anyhow, we're with Bo Tiffany, and Bo, we're getting ready for the restart. But one of the things that I was talking about before we went offline was the fact that your take of what happened on the racetrack. And obviously, I'm very impressed with the driver communication and Justin White from driver to series director saying, guys, I'm not going to put up with you guys fighting. Let's wait till after the race, and then you can kind of say what you think of one another.
I agree. That's what I like about Justin. I mean, he's fair. He calls it, and if he sees something he doesn't like, and he's been pretty fair too on the radio. I mean, some of us got a little vocal, and he's, hey guys, just I get it. We're all frustrated, but let's finish the race. So,
by the way, what team are you with? I'm getting confused here. What team you're with? Who
Mission 1 here.
What is it?
Mission 1.
Mission 1 Esports. There you go. Steven, we got anything for Mr. Bo Tiffany before we go back to green?
No, not really. I'm just trying to find where we're streaming at right now.
Yeah, I can't see.
It's on the NASRA page. It's on NASRA. It's live. Yes. It's the one that says Sonoma. It's the one that says Xfinity Series Sonoma Raceway. That's what it is. Hey, thanks for your time, buddy. Good luck the rest of the way, Bo.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Bo Tiffany, originally from Corning, New York, now resides in Mebane, North Carolina. Yeah, by the way, numbers are picking up again. We're getting ready for the restart. It is down to shootout time. It will be 5, make it 4 laps to go in the TLC Incorporated 250. Stephen Bartlett when we come back to the TLC restart zone this time by. All right, I think we lost Steven. Pace car getting ready to drop onto the pit lane. Ready for the field to come back to the restart box. 4 laps to go. By the way, if you're trying to find the broadcast, it is under Blanchard's Towing Xfinity Series 213 Simware 150 from Sonoma Raceway. Remember, we're road course racing next Tuesday. That is the broadcast that you put up for the continuation of the race. And we're back to it again. VL, he's won this year. He's looking for his second win of the season. Merck's on the outside. He's won this year as well. He's back up to second. It's Merck and Johnson going at it in 2 there, Steven.
These are going to heat up now. Look how these cars bounce off the walls, making that concrete fly up. Coming into turn 3, this is the hardest turn on the track. It's got the sharpest turn and the least bit of angle on it. Coming concrete 3 wide, got another car going around.
Oh boy. Caution out, trouble, and it looks like it's the gold and white car. I believe that's the 16 of Joshua Corner involved, but we also got another driver caught up in it.
I think it is Joshua. That's another one.
No, there's a gold and a white car that got caught up in it also. I just can't think of the name. Is that Michael Larch again? No, Larch is out. Larch is out. It's a gold and white car. That's all I can tell you. Is it the 33 of Johnson? I believe it is. Watch this. It's the 33 Johnson. Cody Knott to his outside. Contact by Corner into the left rear of the 33. And then corner goes up the hill. Jacob Reeves gets slammed into. Schumann, I think, just got a piece of him again. And corner spins into pit road. Wow. Well,
When we come back, it'll be 3 to go.
we're not done yet. By the way, I think that was not the 52 of Schumann. It was the 51 of Brian Chu. Look at that. Wow. Oh, boy.
Brian Chu's up front and fourth.
So it is Schumann. My apologies. It is the 52 of Schumann. No, it's not. That's Robert Richards in 51.
Yeah.
He's usually in 48. Guys, I got to say something right now, and I hope our NASRA audience can hear me, and I hope our drivers, when you go back to your replays, can hear as well. Please, for the life of me, and for our audience, and for us in the booth, drive your car numbers that match your timing and scoring. It is an absolute headache, and Steven, I can't believe I'm saying this in NASRA because I've never done it before usually. But guys, if we don't have the right numbers in timing and scoring, matching what's on the track, it is very hard to pinpoint who was where.
Yeah, and it's hard for the drivers around you, too, because they're looking for the 48, and the 48's nowhere around them, but the 51 is. It's hard on everybody when you're not displaying the correct number on your car.
Yeah, I think it's the first time I've ever in my NASRA career said I wish the numbers match what timing and scoring is. Because Dean, it's hard for you as well, right? I mean,
it's a
we're
nightmare.
trying to right. I mean, I'm speaking on behalf of everybody. I am the voice of the resistance of everyone, our fans in the chat box, our listeners, viewers, of course, our producers, directors, and commentators. When something happens and we cannot find your number, or we have to lose time trying to track your number because it's not matching time and scoring, or your number's not matching what's on the scoring ticker, it definitely is. It's hard to find these names for sure. So 3 to go. 3 to go. And I would be safe to say after the 12th caution of this race, Stephen, when we come back to green, we will be going into overtime number 1 here at Pocono. So this will be the first of 3 attempts.
Yes, sir. So what that means for everybody out there is we will go green flag. If we make it back around with no caution, white flag will come out. And then after that, it don't matter whether the caution comes out or not. If there's a wreck or not, I should say, they will race back to the start-finish line. However, after the 3rd attempt, if the caution flag comes out again before the white flag, then they will just keep it at the caution, keep the caution out, and everybody will roll back in their current positions that they're in and cross the finish line that way.
Bottom line, if they take that white flag, that Darren's nail gun repair 1 to go, as Stephen Bartlett just mentioned, it is wreckers or checkers in the first or second or even third part of the overtime. Now, if we get to triple overtime after the first 2 attempts and the caution comes out before the white, we'll re-rack, we restack, we go again. We'll do it 1 more time. And then we'll do it a 3rd time. If it happens on a 3rd time, as he mentioned, if it happens before they come to the white flag, the field is frozen just like NASCAR does. At the time of caution, we'll have scoring loops and cameras from Dean Hopton to show our NASRA officials where drivers were in position on the racetrack, and the field is frozen, and that will be the finishing order of the race. We will be coming up on lap number 100 this time by when they come back to the Geico restart zone, as we proudly call the TLC Incorporated Restart Zone, thanks to Bob Carr. Thank you to Premier Racing Setups and everyone else on NASRA. The upper right of the screen, you see the replays. We always mention Glass Mechanics, Stage 2 sponsor. Darren's Nail Gun Repair will be the 1 to go. Serve Pro for the cautions. And we're about ready to go at it here to determine who will win here at the virtual tricky triangle. It is Ryan Johnson on the outside, his Toyota Camry, looking to battle the Chevrolet of Jeff Merck. Mark's won in Daytona. Johnson has not won. Driving for Sergeant Joshua Suss, the TLC colors, and trying to sweep Pocono as we go to green in overtime into turn 1.
Ryan Johnson takes the lead. Jeff Burke jumps up to that top side with, can't quite read the car number, that red and white car. But anyways, he jumps up the right side. Bradley is now.
That's Brian Chew.
Okay, Keith Bradley is now underneath Merck, trying for that second place position.
Yeah, by the way, that's Brian Chew in the 51. His colors are definitely different than usual, as now Keith Bradley in trouble. Merck's in the wall. Merck slams off the safer barrier, loses 2 or 3 spots. And while that goes on, Bradley to second, Chew to third, and Johnson's gone and they're wrecking.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah, Merck's gone.
Gosh, get
Merck's
out.
gone. Merck's involved. Shane's involved. Brandon Bullock's involved. I don't think we got to the caution. We did not get.
They did not. They did not. Merck has crashed. Other drivers involved include the 1, the 17 of Bullock. Oh, my goodness, man. Jacob Reeves goes around. And we're going to double overtime. Here's a look at it again, Steven. Set it up for it here.
19 again. The 19
NASRA
again.
chaos.
Matthew Garrett into the car that
But
was
let's
in front
go back,
of him, the 58.
Because if we go back, Merck was before this.
Jonathan Cofield.
So this is where it all went. The door
let's
banging
go back to
between
Merck and Bradley. Merck and Bradley, and there's the contact. Once, twice, 3 times a lady. Merck into the safer barrier, loses ground, and then Cofield bonsais off the Gatorade number 1 and gets into Merck again, and Merck had nowhere to go. There's Cody Knott, there's Jacob Reeves, there's Brandon Bullock. NASRA chaos working off turn 4 here at the tricky triangle here, Stephen Bartlett.
But if we look back, the 19 of Matthew Garrett gets into the back of, I don't remember that off. You'll have to back it up again, Dean, if you could.
Wow.
Yep. The 19 of Matthew.
So, yeah, watch the 19. He gives a good boot to Roberts. Or Richards, Robert
Where's
Richards.
the 19? Just real quick. There. Oh, yeah, there he is. My apologies. Got it. All right.
Uh-oh.
And while we do that, let's check in.
Yeah.
Let's check in with let's go talk to Keith Bradley. Keith, man, Keith, what's your take of what happened on the racetrack right there, buddy?
Yep.
Just hard racing. Some people can take it, some people can't. Apparently the old man can't take it.
That's Jeff Merck you're referring to, right?
Absolutely. He wants to run his fucking mouth.
Whoa. Hey, whoa.
Not on the air, please.
Yeah, just kind of watch it, Keith. But I just want to get your take of what happened out there.
Oh, we just went into the tunnel turn, hard racing. He was on my door and made a little contact, and I tightened up, and and what happens happened. It's freaking racing, whether you like it or you don't. Guys are going to race you the way that you've raced them over the past. So.
Yeah, and I will say this. Obviously, you're closing in. You're in overtime, so you're literally, trying to fight for the front. It wasn't like it was something going on in the top 15.
Yeah, and it's 2 to go. Am I just supposed to lay over and let the guy have it? Well, in his eyes, probably.
And here's the deal. If we could go back and rewind it again, Dean, look at the 60 of Merck. Watch the 29 of Bradley. He got into him. Watch this. Okay, put it back in play. Right about now. And you can see Steven and Bradley, give me your thought on it. He got into you one time. You got into him one time. You got sideways. He got sideways. You got into him a second time. Then he got into the safer barrier. And then all of a sudden, yes, he lost ground, but then he got crashed by the other cars. And I honestly think that's where the frustration comes in from it.
Well, that's what happens when you run your mouth without looking at the whole replay. But I'm sure in his mind he didn't do anything wrong, and he'll stick to that gun.
Just looking at this one, mate, it's your door banging, right? And that's fair enough because you're both going for that position.
You're right.
But then
for the win.
You give him a little bit of a tap. He taps you. He goes in the fence, and then he comes back from the fence and almost turns you. But That's just door banging, I'd say. He's the one that got the wrong end of the stick on that one too, and you're going to be in a fine position to fight for the lead now. So I can kind of get the reason why he's probably a little bit upset, because out of that door banging that you had, he got the wrong end of the stick on that one. So.
And they were just coming to the white flag off turn 3. Keith Bradley, thanks for your time, buddy. Always enjoy calling your iRacing events when you're on the track.
Appreciate it, Wesley.
Hey, by the way, what team are you with, by the way? I need to find what team you're with.
Oh, I'm one day I'm with Blue Line, the Mission One, then Blue Line, the Mission One. So
the Gun Dog?
Either or, whatever sounds good.
Bo Tiffany, are you with Bo Tiffany and Dean Gagliano?
Yeah, but I'm racing with the Blue Line guys, helping them out right now.
There you go, Gun Dog or Blue Line or whatever. It's a whole bunch
Blue
of
Dog.
teams.
There we go.
Thanks for your time, buddy. Good luck. And
thanks, appreciate it.
I don't really see any fault in what happened there on being put on you. I hope you don't get a penalty or anything. But watch your language next time you're in the box.
Yeah, I apologize for that. Sometimes tempers just get the best of me. You know how
I totally get it, brother. I totally get it. The animal, they don't call him the animal for nothing, ladies and gentlemen. That is Keith Bradley. And Steven, that's the reason why we kind of have not reached that level of letting driver communication chat happen during the broadcast.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking at my screen, and you could probably see it too, Wes. The driver chat was disabled, and it was enabled, and now Jeff Merck's chat has been disabled.
Yeah.
Because Jeff Merck wanting to yell at everybody. But I mean, it's racing.
I will say this. I got nothing but love for Jeff Merck and Keith Bradley. I am a neutral guy. As we say, I'm Switzerland or I'm Australia. In the words of Dean Hopkins, we got a double overtime too. Back to the TLC Incorporated restart zone. I don't see anything wrong in what happened between Merck and Bradley. I just don't. I don't see anything wrong here. We go back to racing. This is double overtime. Bradley on the outside. He's going to battle now. Johnson on the bottom.
Whoa,
Bruce, we got a spinner. There goes the 33. Jeffrey Johnson. He crashes into the inside safer barrier. His Ford back up into the racing groove. He's now driving crab walking. Caution out, and we're going to triple overtime for the second night in a row for NASRA competition.
These guys just can't stay off of each other. And that happened on the restart. I was watching it on my screen, and somebody either missed a shift or just didn't go fast enough. Everybody got into each other, and caution came out.
Hey, no, Us Racing says, will y'all just please let Ryan cross the line and let him win the race? No, it's not that simple.
Can we all just get along?
Triple overtime coming up. But no, look, in all seriousness, and I know that Miss Don Merck and other people are in the chat box, and I'm not trying to make anybody mad whatsoever. We are just calling the races. But what I will say is this. When you're coming down to a green-white checker, you've literally got to race. You're going to race hard. Am I right, Steven? You've been in these predicaments before. You got to do what you've got to do to win the race. And there's a fine line between intentional driving and racing hard. And I feel what happened between the 29 and the 60 was just hard racing. I hate it. It irks me that Mark got into the wall. I didn't want to see that happen to him. But obviously, I think he was more frustrated with the outcome of what happened from the racing between him and Bradley.
Yeah, it's. I said before, it's racing. That's going to happen when you're both trying to fight for the win. Obviously Keith Bradley wants the win because it'll be his first one for the season. Merck has already won one, but he still wants to win also, just bragging rights.
It is that driver's mentality of wanting to win. By the way, it sounds like from race control and in-car audio, the 18 coming off of 2 turned into the 33. And it sounds like the 18 of Gagliano is going to be given the EOL penalty after getting into the 33 of Jeffrey Johnson again. And Steven, if that wasn't enough, we got beef at Pocono, really? And we have triple overtime coming up, and we see drivers on pit road possibly doing, splash and go because they're out of fuel.
Yeah, it could be. I see Alzewski there, still trying to get some repairs. Jeff Merck is there getting repairs, and I believe that's Jacob Reeves right behind Merck. He was also involved in that. So I think all these guys are doing repairs right now from that last caution.
So I wonder now if Ryan.
It sounds like the conversation. No, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Dean. It sounds like the conversation with race control to the 18 of Gagliano is that it wasn't intentional, but he did get into the 33 of Johnson, which caused Johnson to spin. Go ahead, Dean. My apologies.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say with the battle at the front here, so Ryan Jones going to fight this one off Keith Bradley. But somebody wants to see Jeff Merck's cam. We'll get that organised in a second.
And how about Tristan Bruce, by the way? Tristan Bruce?
Yes.
Jaron Bruce definitely getting ready to cheer on TB. Tristan Bruce. There's Jeff. Man, I feel so bad for Jeff. I really do. I know that. I think that's Dawn, his wife, coming in to talk with him. And I hate it because he had such a good run, Stephen, going for him. But I like I said, I really can't fault blame between Bradley and the racing that we saw. Honestly, I can't. So
no, it's hard. It's hard racing, and race control. Justin White said that'll be up for go up to the review board to find out what penalties will happen on that one. Lights on the pace car are now out. Got one to go.
So Don Merck chimes in, and maybe there's a little bit more substance to why he's frustrated. And again, let me say this, Don, to our audience. I'm not aware of these things. You can ask Steven. I'll tell you. When I get done calling the iRacing broadcast, I disable the damn NASRA chat because I don't want to have any part of it or being caught up in it. But I will say this. Don's chiming in, Steven, and says, no, Bradley has done this to Jeff Merck numerous times in the past, even when they were teammates. So we got beef, and it sounds like it's something that is a revolving door of history between these two. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, but it sounds like that's what the problem is.
Yeah, as I recall, that they've had this problem. Dean, I assume you're having issues again because I've got coming out of turn 2, pace car lights are off.
Oh,
he's off of turn 2. The pace car lights are off. Where are you at, Steven?
I'm at home.
No. I'm saying he's off of turn 2 with the pace car lights off. Yeah, he should be caught up.
No, these guys are doubled up now and heading into turn 3.
Yes, that's where we're at.
That's where we are. That's where we are.
I don't understand why Dean's screen is showing me they're coming out of turn 2. Pace car lights are still on.
I don't know what you're seeing, dude. You might need to pause and open it again. They're coming to the restart. Pace car is in. This is the third and final attempt here in overtime at Pocono in the TLC 250. Remember, caution comes out. Field is frozen. Race over. And Johnson is being penalized for passing under caution already. Oh. Bradley took the lead in turn 1. Yellow flag is out. And we're under caution. That's it. Caution's out. Keith Bradley is going to steal one here at Pocono. Controversial or not, Keith Bradley is going to win this race after the third and final caution here in this race, Stephen.
Yeah, I'm watching on mine. I didn't see what happened, what brought the caution out.
I didn't see anything that brought the caution out as well, too, gentlemen. Just have looking through the field there, but
I think it's Jeffrey Johnson, guys. He crashed in the 33.
Oh.
I don't know why the screen I'm looking at coming from Dean is like a lap behind. They're just now doubling up on his screen on mine.
Nah, I see it perfectly on my end. Look at the broadcast room, and the white flag is out. We are under caution. They're trying to catch the pace car. Let me emphasize on that. Race is under caution. They're racing down the straightaway to go to the pace car.
Yeah,
this race is over. Keith Bradley is the winner. Ryan Johnson, Brian Chu, couple of Toyotas, 1, 2, and 3. And boy, oh boy, if the nail in the coffin or the thorn in the side doesn't get you more frustrated if you're Jeff Merck, not only the guy that you're racing with that you got in the wall ends up, Steven, winning the race. Keith Bradley's going to win here at Pocono in the TLC Incorporated 250.
And from what I'm looking at, our tower is Ryan Johnson will take second. Brian Chu will be in third.
Yep, checkered flag. 29, 80, and 51 is the drivers that finish 1, 2, and 3. Bradley, Johnson, and Chu. The race director is telling everybody just to please exit off the racetrack. The race is over. It is Animal Keith Bradley, the winner. Boy, it's been a late one. Here's the results. As now you see Keith Bradley getting some congratulatory side swipes by Justin Clapper, some other people as well. Oh boy, oh boy. Brandon Broadfoot said, just wait till Friday. They both are below the cutoff. Let's see how much of this feud tonight will carry over. My goodness. Results at Pocono. Bradley is the winner. Ryan Johnson second. Brian Chu third. Tristan Bruce, another solid top 5 along with Justin Clapper, redeeming himself from an issue earlier tonight. Jonathan Cofield sixth. Robert Walton, Matthew Garrett, Craig VL. Matt Holmes, winner last week. Tomlinson, Tiffany Richards, not Burleson. Right now, the top 15 at the end of the race. And I believe, Stephen, you got the rest of the rundown of the 30 cars, buddy.
I apologize wherever you at. It just popped up for me, so.
Okay, Joshua Corner will finish 16th. Bobby Grant 17th. Brandon Bullock is 18th. D. Gagliano is 19th. Jeffrey Johnson, your top 20. Andrew Alzewski will finish 21st. Crab walking, by the way, to the finish. Jeff Merck dominated at the end of the race, crashed out in double overtime. He'll finish in 22nd. Jacob Reeves, 23rd. Shane Trotter, 24th. Buzzy Mongold. Jonathan Barker, Michael Larch, Chase Albright, Brandon Schumann, Damian Neeson, and Jackson Wade, by the way, did not start the race. So of the 30 drivers, that's the way it ended up. And your winner tonight here at Pocono is Keith Bradley. The animal from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, celebrates. We got his take whenever there was the frustration going on with Jeff Merck. Now we'll get his side of the finish and winning. Getting it done over Ryan Johnson and Brian Chu. We'll talk to these guys in just a moment. Stay with us from Pocono.
Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. You got a outdoor lighting, landscape lighting system. Maybe we installed it. Maybe it was there you inherited in your house and you want to upgrade it. Now's the time to give us a shout. We'll come out, take a look, evaluate what you do have, tell you what you could have. Give us a shout today for all your outdoor lighting needs. We'll talk to you soon.
Back here at Pocono Raceway, welcome back to coverage of post-race for the TLC Incorporated 250. Thanks again to Bob Carr, TLC Incorporated, for sponsoring our race, the restart zone, the garage area, and more. And when it's all said and done, triple overtime, field frozen, coming to the final restart when Jeffrey Johnson crashed on the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 1 and 2. Keith Bradley picks up the win over Ryan Johnson, who won the first 2 stages of the race. Brian Chu finishes in third. We got him now for post-race. All right, Keith, so we were talking to you when the frustration was going on between you and Jeff Merck. Then you get back on the high horse, if I say that, and no disrespect, and you've got to race Johnson, you've got to race these drivers, and you come back and you really got around Johnson at the right time. Would you say luck puts you in the victory lane tonight? Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't think that's how anybody ever wants to win a race, but I mean, I guess a win is a win. I'm not really racing for points or anything. It was fun at times, and it was frustrating at times. I've not went back and watched what happened between me and Merck, but I got him so mad. He's sending me messages like a 15-year-old, so that's cool.
So you kind of opened that door, and I'll kind of elaborate on that, and then we'll end the subject. But it sounds like from some people, they're saying that even when y'all were teammates, you've had history of doing this to him. Do you feel like maybe that's why he's a little upset?
I mean, I think maybe that person should go back and watch the 3 races where he's wrecked me for wins, and I didn't say a dang thing about it, so I don't know. I know who it is. It's his wife. She's got to fight his fight for him. It's okay.
Steven, got anything? Bail me out here. Stephen Bartlett, you got a copy? Okay, I guess his broadcast paused again. Well, Keith, back to the restarts, man. Can we talk about the overtime and literally the first and the second attempts at overtime, and literally the third time just trying to get around Johnson, making the right move, finally clearing him, and obviously getting a win. Hey, you have put yourself in the playoffs in the NASRA Cup Series.
Yeah, the restarts were a blast. I mean, they were dicey when you had guys on multiple different strategies, and if you could hit the line ride going into one, and you could run that seam and launch yourself down the back straightaway, the guy on the bottom typically didn't have a chance at defending it. Unfortunately, on Ryan's part, he gave me the top, or no, I restarted on the top, and yeah, just good hard racing when it was, and when it wasn't.
Well, Bud, before I let you go, thank your sponsors. And again, controversial if it may be, you got a win here tonight at Pocono, sir. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I thank everybody at Blue Line, everybody that puts us on, Just Racing Boys Designs. He does a great job with these. I want to thank Jeff Merck's Feelings, because I guess I'm in his feelings, so that's great. Andy Race Parts for support me in real racing and on here. Yeah, that's about it.
There you go. There's the thoughts of Keith Bradley, and he will win. And by the way, am I understanding you guys are below the cutoff line, both you and Merck in the Construct Series?
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. We'll see if he does anything spicy there. That'll be fun.
I know, Friday night, no doubt about it. Hey, by the way, Stephen Bartlett is not with us in the chat box, so that is the reason why he didn't respond. So something's going on with Stephen in his internet. He just messaged me back. So no, he did not leave me hanging. He's got technical issues going on, and that's why he's unable to join us. So I'll handle post race the rest of the way. But again, I always enjoy working with the Viking, Stephen Bartlett, and Dean. Dean, you got any question for Keith? I mean, you've called a lot of his races. You've directed a lot of his races. What's your take of what went on, boss?
Well, I said I just thought it was a little bit of door banging, but it's a bit of history, and you got to look at other things that happened during this race earlier and other parts of it. So it is what it is. That's what's been said, and of course it'll be debated much longer after this one. But still can't take it away. Somewhere along the line, either yourself there, Ryan, Tristan Bruce, Brian Chu, or Jeff Merck was going to win this race, because you're all battling for it tooth and nail. It goes to show you how much dedication everybody puts into the motor racing here. That's why people get fired up, mate, because they put a lot into it. So you can't Can't go wrong with that, mate, can you?
And I will say this. Thank you, Dean. I will say this as well, and we'll grab Bob Ryan Johnson, the runner-up in the race as well, on that TLC Inc. number 80 machine that all reviews of the race, and obviously there is a NASRA Board of Appeals and there is a NASRA control that will determine if there's anything that was negligent or, not racing, that there will be calls made. There will be penalties handed down if there's need be, or reprimands, if you will. They do review each and everything of the race. I see it week in, week out on NASRA races where literally we finish up and then there's announcements of penalties or people starting at the rear. So right now, again, Keith Bradley, can't take the win away from him. Congratulations again. He is now the 5th winner in 5 races on the NASRA Cup Series. Ryan Johnson, our buddy from Salem, Wisconsin, the Tiny Horse, as we call him, driving Sergeant Joshua Suss's number 80 Toyota for, of course, TLC Incorporated tonight, and so close to winning the race until Bradley got around. Yeah, I mean, literally, it was just a pass before the caution on the restart, wasn't it, Ryan? You'll settle for second, sir.
Yeah, we'll take second. Yeah, I screwed up on that restart. I think Keith had the help from Brian, and I didn't have help from Tristan because I don't know if he got a bad restart or if I just caught him off guard or what it was. But not bad for, I think, a total of 11 laps of practice and over like 2.5 years since I ran these things. These things were a lot of fun tonight. A lot more, a lot looser than I remembered, but I mean, they were really racy tonight. So I had a blast. We'll take second, filling in for Josh and TLC on the car. So that's all right. I mean, it's not bad.
I have to ask you this question, Ryan. Because you're in a different race car, everybody was in the Gen 6 car, and of course, not used to driving it as much as it's been in a while. And do you think that maybe that kind of might have been the outcome of the way some of the driving or the things we saw in the race might have happened the way that they did?
I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. I don't know how much anybody else drives it, but I'm
just referring to your handling, your driving abilities.
I mean, once I got in the car, I felt like it came back fairly well. In the first, I'd say probably the first stage of the race, I was kind of feeling the car out, just kind of getting reacclimated to it. And I mean, once you drive a car a lot, because I used to drive these a ton, I feel like you don't. I don't want to say you don't forget it, but because you kind of do. But I think it makes it come back quicker. Makes it a little easier to relearn it and figure out what you got to do with it.
Well, Bud, I mean, what a good opportunity to drive the 80 car. Obviously, got anybody want to thank sponsor-wise? And will we see you fill in for Sergeant Josh Suss again in this car before the end of the year?
Possibly. I might run a race or two here and there. We'll see how my schedule goes. But yeah, I just got to thank Josh for letting me run it, TLC being on the car, everyone at NASRA putting this on, you guys for broadcasting.
There you go. Always great catching up with the Tiny Horse out of Salem, Wisconsin, Ryan Johnson. Usually he's in a 38 tonight. He's in the number 80. And I know, regardless of the craziness that happened, I know Bob Carr, the TLC Incorporated group, have got to be proud of you, no doubt about it, Mr. Suss as well. So let's go to Brian Chu. Brian will finish the race in the 3rd position. And Brian, man, your take of tonight, you had some moments throughout the night. Was it the car? Was it the aggressiveness? Do you think some guys drove over their head? And how do you feel about getting a podium for 3rd, my friend?
Yeah, I think it was all above that you just mentioned, but yeah, it was definitely
all of the above?
it was a bunch of aggressiveness, but there was a bunch of different strategies, and I actually hate because I caused a caution early in the race, and I pride myself on clean driving, so I'm kicking myself for it. But I just tried to side draft a little bit because 97 car had older tires, and I was just trying to get around them quick because if you lost the draft in front of you, it was not good. So I was just trying to keep the draft and get by him quick, and I made a little mistake there, I guess, and I apologize to him. And but yeah, it was a lot of drama there at the end, and I don't like the drama personally. I mean, other guys kind of like it. I don't like the drama. I try to stay out of it. I try to stay clean. I mean, you've seen me in other races. I get wrecked a lot,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
I try to stay. I try to keep my head about it and not get too upset because I know some guys. I mean, we're here to have fun at the end of the day, and you know the sun's going to come up tomorrow. So I know we're not. A lot of guys aren't doing this intentional, just mistakes, and we're not professional. I mean, some of us are not professional drivers. So hey, it's. I just try to have fun with it, and it was definitely crazy at the end. My position at the end there was just to try to help Keith and Ryan there because they kept flip flopping first and second, and they kept restarting on the top, and I was always on the top to push. So I was just trying to help, give them a shove out, and then I'm in the for the long haul and points, so I just wanted to make sure I got a top 5 or so, and didn't get wrecked there at the end and stay out of the drama, and we were able to bring it home.
How chaotic is that, by the way, Brian? Since you kind of opened that door, I'll elaborate more on it. Where 1 minute you got the leader on the outside lane, the next minute he's on the bottom lane, and you're trying to literally pick: do I go with him? Do I go with the other guy? Or man, do I kind of change up and go a different direction than what this lead car is doing? What is that like when that mentality sets in?
Yeah, I mean, these cars are they suck up so well with the draft. Compared to the next gen. So man, it's almost like because I run Daytona pretty well, so it's almost like I'm trying to push like I am at Daytona and get the best run. So I want to go with the guys with the best run. It seemed like those last 3 restarts though on the green white checkered, we didn't even get through turn 1, so we couldn't even play it out. You know what I mean? So it was basically where I restarted. That's who I had to push, and what ended up happening is I think I pushed Ryan out to the lead a couple times, and I think he switched to take the lead on the bottom, and I wasn't there, and it was Keith that I ended up pushing. So, I think Ryan probably kicking himself for not staying with me there because I probably would have pushed him out. But regardless, I think it's great to have a 1-2-3 finish for Huck and Blue Line, and hey, for me, it's just I need to go with whatever best runs best and get the best possible finish for myself at the end of the day.
Very well said. Very well in a PR standpoint for the driver, and I totally get it. And Brian, thanks again, buddy. Before I let you go, and by the way, can I say this? Your car number is the same, but your colors are different. And man, it's hard to find you sometimes on the racetrack. But we definitely find you. I like the different paint scheme for sure.
Yeah, it's difference of some of my trucks. 'Cause I'm usually out there in like a teal truck, but Toyota more on this Wednesday league, and maybe we'll get some more paints made up because we do got some sponsors going. And I want to also, thinking of that, Justin Lumpkin makes my paints, and his mother's in the hospital, and just thought prayers and thoughts are with her right now. I know he's got to be going through a little rough time, so thoughts and prayers for him. And because you thinking about the paints there, you made me think of him. So thoughts and prayers with him.
Thank you, and our prayers are with Justin Lumpkin as well. And Brian, thanks for your time, buddy. We appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, I'll just give a quick shout out, TLC
Yes,
Industries, and Pulse Poppers, Dan Gobble, DSR Electric. He helps me in all the leagues, and I really appreciate him and everything he does for the league. NASRA, Brady, and everything they do, and Justin White for running this league tonight, and you guys up in the booth, and then everyone at Blue Line. It's the only time I'm not in a swim affiliated a race car, so.
Yeah.
Thanks Huck. We're pretty good affiliates and run well alliance, I should say, or something like that. We run well together and we're great friends, and I think that's why at the end of the day I was saying, hey, we're supposed to be here for fun, and I've made a lot of friends through this deal. So just thanks to everyone on that team, and it was awesome to get a 1-2-3 finish for Blue Line.
Good bunch of people, no doubt about it. Huck Wigginton and Concerns of Police Survivors, Swim, and more. Thanks for your time, Brian. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
There you go. There's the 51. Brian Chu, Toyota. He'll finish third. And I only need to bring Jacob Reeves in here because we had so much beef at the end. He messaged me and said, "Bring me in. I'll straighten it out." It would only be fitting to have the TLC Incorporated go to the nightcap with Jacob Reeves, the redneck announcer, and we got beef. We got beef. Jacob, what's your take on what happened, boss?
I sat there and I looked at it, and they'll say. Everybody's gonna say what they want to say. I'll probably be biased, obviously, because Keith is my teammate. But you sit there and you watch what happens, and you'll see it right here. Basically everybody coming off a 2 right here. Keith's got it down the bottom. I'm basically going to call it like a broadcaster here, Wesley.
Go ahead.
More
man.
or less right here. You see what happens right here. Keith's got the preferred line, the outside lane, 3 up top, 2 on the bottom. They drive right here into the corner, and you're going to see Keith right here keep it right up against the inside lane. Now, there is a seam right there. That seam going in the tunnel turn is going to help you turn a little bit. He's turning. You see Jeff come down. Jeff comes down and doors Keith. Now, this is coming to the white flag right here. Keith's not going to back out of it. He's trying to save his car. He's doing all he can. All of a sudden, it just starts fishtailing and everything.
Contact.
Mert comes up, hits the wall, then he comes back down and gets into Keith. Now, Keith kind of pinched him up there a little bit, but at the same time, Keith is still trying to straighten his car out. So, in a sense, Jeff can say what he wants. I don't know if I would have went on the kind of rant that Keith did with some of the colorful language. Sometimes I use it, and I'm trying to ease up on it myself. But I don't know if I'd have went that far with it. But at the same time, Jeff done it to himself. And I know there's going to be some fans out there that's going to be like, well, he's just sticking up for his teammate. No, the video shows it right there exactly what happened. Mert comes down, gets into Keith. Keith's just trying to straighten the car out. And from there on, that's what's going to happen. If it had been lap 1, there would have probably been, excuse my French, but a give a damn given right there. It wasn't. So it's coming to the white flag.
If it would have been something like that, I'd been like, why did you do that to me? Why would you do that to me on lap number 1? But obviously, as you're moving into overtime, all bets are off. You're trying to win the race. They're trying to win the race. Jeff Merck's trying to get his second win. He already won Daytona. We know that. He's in the playoffs, and you got a guy like Keith Bradley, who's a 2-time NASRA champion. As you know, Jacob, he wants to win as well in the Cup Series. There's two competitive spirits is the word I'm trying to find here in this virtual world, and it was going to be may the best man win. Bottom line, and I think it's a racing deal as well, like you said, Jacob.
I think it was all just really a racing deal. Jeff's just trying to come down and try, because when you get off that tunnel turn right there, Wesley, it's hard if you're up there on that top. I was up there on it tonight. You roll that top side, it's hard to get anything going, so you got to get as low as you can get. Jeff just got down a little bit too much, come down and got right there on Keith's door. But to match what you were talking about right there, granted, Keith, he's part-time, Jeff's running full-time, but you got to think about the sponsors, that they're racing for. You got to, the competitive spirit, the pride, and everything that these guys got, week in and week out. Sure. So, that's one of those things right there. It's unfortunate that all them guys got caught up in it, including myself. But it's just one of those things. You can't tell a race car driver to just sit there and say, well, I'm just going to back out of it and let you have it right here. Yeah, maybe on lap 1. But coming to the white flag, nah, you ain't going to live.
Yeah, I have to say, definitely, man, I have to concur. And again, if this happened later on in the race, earlier in the race, I could say maybe there's something to it. And I guess there's some history between Keith and Jeff. I don't want to get involved in that. We're just commentators. We're just calling the race. I just feel like from what we saw in the booth, it was a racing incident. But nah, man. And by the way, Dean, if there's a way that you can go to the last restart of the race as well, somebody was questioning the restart, or why did they call the race or throw the race, and how did the 29 get in front of how did the 29 get in front of the 80? We're going to try to set up the final restart for you if we can, and I want you to watch the 29 Bradley and the number 80 of the number 80 car. Here it is right now, and again, watch them go off into the corner. And somewhere in the back there, I believe, was I right, Jacob? It was the 33 Jeffrey Johnson who got called for a penalty, and then his car lost control going into one, and he spun out and crashed. And that's why they called the race. Right here,
Yeah,
watch
but
up
I'm not
top.
100%
Watch up
on
top.
that one.
Watch up top. Watch the 33. That's the car. That's the car that put out the caution. He's in the back. He's at the rear. So go up to that car, and you'll see literally where he loses it in the corner. And this is what, no, my apologies. My damn. It's not Jeffrey Johnson. It's somebody else up ahead.
I can't remember which one of
I
them
don't
it
know who
was,
that
but
was.
I'm sure somebody probably got a little bit of help. If I had my
How did
I'd be
Ryan?
able
Did
to pop
Ryan
it in there
Johnson
and
just
actually
really
look at
quickly?
it, but-
Did Ryan Johnson get it? He was leading this, right? Going into it was the inside line. Was him and Keith Bradley. Did he get a jump start or something? I can't understand what happened to Ryan.
Well,
So
So
Bradley got the jump. He got the jump on the outside
right,
and got
he
the
did,
lead.
yeah.
So there you see it. I mean, there was no penalty on Ryan Johnson. It was just that whatever happened up there, back there in the back, they were 4 wide there, and then that's when we saw the car spin.
Yeah.
Right here, this is where it happened, and this is why they triggered the yellow. And Jacob, if you're looking on the back straightaway, you can see where the 29 is up in front of the 80, and then the caution lights illuminate right there. The race is over because the 29's in front.
yeah, I mean, exactly right there. I mean, and granted, you know, Ryan and Keith, both of them teammates, but at the same time, you know, if this would have been like halfway through the race, Keith may sit there and count Ryan down, you know, coming to the line or coming in the box, you know, whatever he's going to gas up. But I mean, it's the last restart. Obviously, you know, they were on their last green, white checkered. He's not going to tell Ryan, hey, this is when I'm going, because that's a disadvantage to Keith. So, yeah, that's why Keith took the outside lane. He was able to gas up whenever he wanted to. He beat Ryan a little bit. Now, obviously, it helped a little bit that he's, you know, our other teammate with blue line, Brad Chew was right behind him, just shoving him for all it was worth going into turn one. So that helped out tremendously. But at the same time, I mean, the caution come out, somebody spun. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tagged somebody and spun them out. I wouldn't be surprised one bit for how many cautions there was there tonight. But I mean, that's racing. That's how it goes.
Somebody cue up the hey, won't you play Somebody Done Somebody Wrong song, okay? I'm going back in the 80s of classic country with that theme. I don't know if Dean knows it or not. I know you do, Jacob.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Boy, man, there's a look at the replay. There's a look at the results. We just wanted to give you a thorough explanation of what happened. I know there was a little controversy. People saying, why did they throw the caution? Why did they not come to the finish? We follow just like NASCAR in triple overtime. If we get to that third overtime and there's an accident before they come to the Darren Snell Gun Repair one to go, the field is frozen. We use computer. And I will tell you this, if there's something that is different than what we're showing, Keith, being the winner, Jacob Reeves, NASRA will intervene, and they will quickly, you know, obviously, what is the word I'm looking for? Project, or they will retract. The word is I'm looking for. They will retract our announcement and give the win back to Johnson if they feel that that's what happened. But from what we're seeing right here, Keith Bradley was in the clear. He got the lead on the restart. It was clean. It was fair out of the TLC Incorporated restart zone. He wins the race. Bottom line. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I mean, you hit it right there on the head. I mean, you know, if the officials think that there's something different that needs to happen, that's what they're going to do. But most of the time, they try to let iRacing kind of go ahead and just play it out, because 9 times out of 10, iRacing pretty much gets it right. But I mean, you know, they may go back and look at it, but from what we saw right there, obviously when the caution came out, Keith had about a whole car right there over Ryan Johnson, and Johnson fired back on that inside and was able to get in front of Brian Chew to be able to secure that second place finish. So, I mean, good for everybody with Blue Line Racing. I was just happy to be a part of it. I just wish I could finish one of these dang things.
and we'll say this in closing as you're looking at the results again. In regards to what happened between Keith Bradley and Jeff Merck, if there is anything penalty-wise, fines, suspensions, I got a feeling NASRA's going to reprimand Keith Bradley, even though he won the race. for dropping the F-bomb on the broadcast because Jeff Merck did it a while back and they penalized him. So I use another old quote, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I'm sure there'll be penalties and announcements coming before next week. All of that will be, again, stemmed from what the powers that be on the NASRA board decides in post. With that being said, Jacob, I don't know how much more we can poke the bear or give a analogy of what happened. But Dean Hopton, I think it warranted. I know sometimes we want to get on the air, get off the air as quickly as possible in post-race, but I think tonight warranted a reason to stay on a little bit longer than usual to give an example, Dean Hopton, of why things happened the way they did, why we called it the way they did, and obviously we'll see if it'll stand.
I mean, yes, I totally agree with that one. So that's definitely getting into the season. So thank you, guys. It's been thank you for everybody for contributing, and also for the little technical issue that we had going off and on the air again. But you stuck with it, and then drama certainly unfolded, and more to come soon.
Jacob, you might need to do a special door banging download about this where you go off the air for the weekend.
There's a good possibility. We may have to think about it right here. I mean, it would definitely bump up the views and probably get more viewers and all that good stuff talking about the Bradley versus Merck. And apparently, like y'all said, this ain't the first time they've had a little run-in together. So I don't follow them that much as far as all that goes. I try to just stay out of it. But
yeah.
But hey, I mean, it makes some good TV. I'll tell you that much.
Somebody put the women and children to bed. We got beef. No, as always, thanks again, Jacob Reeves. Door banging download is available on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. It's on all major platforms as well. All right. Well, Stephen Bartlett left. He had technical issues. Something happened with his internet. He was not able to join us for post-race, but I'm glad Jacob was able to come in and help out, announce what's going on with the rest of everything else. By the way, big thanks to Bob Carr, TLC Incorporated. We'll play their sponsor one more time before we get off the air. I think it's in the reel. Mr. Dean, I think he's got it as always. Thanks again, as always, to Mr. Biggles, Dean Hopton. Thanks to Stephen Bartlett, Jacob Reeves, everybody that was here. Congratulations to Keith Bradley, the winner, the animal, here tonight on the TLC Incorporated 250. I'll be doing Arca Thunder, Goat Locker Racing tomorrow night. Hope you can join us. Playoffs, C.O.P.S Truck Series on Friday. Boy, will it boil over, by the way. Jake, one more thing to say. I'm understanding that defending series champion Keith Bradley and Jeff Merck are both below the cut line in the truck series. So that might be something to watch on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be something that could carry over. Usually you don't see that too much with NASRA with things that may happen on Monday night carry over to Friday night or Tuesday night to Wednesday night or something like that. But just how big of a deal this kind of was. And I think literally, it's like you was cooking some spaghetti and you just let the water boil over right there. The whole top just literally popped off between both of them. And obviously from what like I said, we've been hearing it. There's a rivalry between both these guys. That lid just popped off tonight. So there's no telling what's going to happen Friday night for the C.O.P.S Truck Series. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe door bang a little bit Friday night.
The C4 is lit, baby. All the humanity. For, of course, Brady LaBeouf, Cody Knott of NASRA. Thanks again to race director, of course, Mr. Justin White with the NASRA Cup Series. Thanks again, as always, to Stephen Bartlett, Jacob Reeves chiming in. For Dean Hopton, I'm Wesley Outland. We got beef. We got rules. It's NASRA. We'll see what shakes down next week as we'll be going racing again. Join us. And, of course, we'll see you tomorrow for Goat Locker Racing Arca. Good evening. Again, congratulations. Keith Bradley, unofficially, if you want to call it that, the winner of the TLC Incorporated 250 from the Tricky Triangle Pocono.